When Jesus had spent time in the desert, he crossed the Jordan River and began his work. But what was his work? His work was to come close to people, especially the people that no one else wants to come close to. You see, he's so close to this blind man that he's touching his eyes. When Jesus came close to people, they were changed. They were made well. Jesus also told parables. Finally, he knew that he would have to become a parable. So Jesus travelled into Jerusalem one last time. It was the time of Passover, and the city was full of people from many different lands. Some people who were there thought that Jesus had come to be their king, but they weren't really paying attention. He wasn't riding on a white horse or being carried by soldiers. He was riding on a donkey, and it wasn't even his. He'd borrowed it. Still, that Sunday, people were shouting and crying out, "Hosanna," which means save us. They were waving palm branches, which are the signs of kings. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Jesus went to the temple to teach people. At night, he travelled back to the Mount of Olives with the 12, and people whispered and watched and said that was where God was going to send an army of angels to defeat the Romans. One day, Jesus was in the temple and said, "You see that old woman over there? She's about to put her money in the money box. Let's listen and see what we can hear." Did you hear anything? No. She's put the smallest coins there is into the box. That was all she had. "Oh, look, there's a rich man over there. He has so much money to put in the box that he needs help to carry it. His money makes such a loud noise and clanging when it goes into the box." "I wonder," Jesus said, "which one gave the most? The old woman or the rich man?" Some said the rich man gave the most. Others said the old woman. The temple guards said, "On Thursday we'll take him." But on Thursday they couldn't find him. Jesus and his friends, the 12, hurried through the dark streets to a house. They climbed the stairs to an upper room, and there they shared their last supper together. When they had had everything they wanted to eat, Jesus took a bit of bread, gave thanks to God for it, and said something like, "Whenever you eat bread like this and share it, I will be there." And then he took a cup of wine and said, "When you take a cup of wine like this and share it, I will be there." What was he talking about? He was always saying strange things like that. How could they know? They didn't understand, but they didn't forget, and later they would understand. Suddenly, Judas got up and left. The rest sang a hymn, and then they went to the Garden of Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives, Jesus wanted to pray, and when he'd finished, he went back to join the 12. Judas came out of the dark and greeted Jesus with a kiss. This was a symbol to the temple guards to take him. They too came out of the shadows and they took Jesus into the night. The 12 disappeared into the darkness as well. Now I wonder what that darkness felt like to Jesus. I wonder how the disciples, Jesus' friends, felt that night. I wonder how you feel when it's dark and you're frightened. I wonder who you turn to. I wonder what God will do to make it light again.